Hey, I'm Landon. I'm a sensei at Code Ninjas, and today we'll be building a project in Scratch. We'll be building a top-down adventure game with a camera. In this project, we'll be learning about collision, a camera, making your own worlds, and separating that world into chunks so that it can scroll across the screen. All right, let's get started. So, to make your top-down adventure game in Scratch, we're going to have to cut up your level into chunks so that they're the right size for Scratch. So why don't we go ahead and make the first chunk of your level now. To do that, we're going to hover over this button in the bottom right hand corner that kind of looks like a cat, and we're going to click this paintbrush. This is going to allow us to make our own sprite. We're going to click this button that says convert to bitmap, and then we're just going to fill the background, or we're just going to fill the canvas with the color of the floor in our game. So this is like a green, this is like the grass in my game, right? It's like top down. Cool. So this is going to be the top left chunk of my level, and let's say I want a wall in my level. Boom, that's my wall. This is a chunk of my level, and we did that, and it looks great. So now we're going to go to the cat, and you can see that the cat is behind my level, which is bad. I want to be able to see my cat, so I'm going to go to events, grab the green flag block, go to looks, and grab the go to front layer block, run the game. There he is. Fantastic. Now, he is too big for my game. That's not good. I want him to be smaller than he is, so I am going to set size. This block is from looks. Set size to 50%, half his size. Would you look at that? That's pretty good. It looks nice. Nice. All right, so we have him. All right, so all those settings are good. So let's start programming the movement in our game. To do that, we're going to go to variables in the cat and make two variables. We're going to make scroll X and scroll Y, just like that. So we have our two variables, and we want to make sure those two variables are set to 0 at the beginning of our game. So scroll X and scroll Y are set to 0. Next, we're going to go to control, and we're going to grab a forever loop, and then we're going to make 4 if statements. These 4 if statements are going to check which if we're pressing up, down, left, or right. All right. So we're going to go to sensing, and we're going to say, is key up arrow pressed? Is key down arrow pressed? And we're going to do this for each arrow. Left arrow, right arrow. Sweet. So now that we've done that, we're going to put it in our forever loop. So if we are pressing the up arrow, we want to move up, right? But in our game, if we were to move up, then basically the way that we're going to do movement in our top-down game is we're going to move the background, the floor, the level, under our player to give the illusion that he is moving instead of actually moving the player, and this gives us a lot more flexibility with the size of our game. Okay, so what we will do is we are going to go to variables, and we're going to modify change scroll Y by -10. We're going to change scroll Y by +10 when we're pressing down. And we are going to change not scroll Y, scroll X. We're going to change scroll X by +10 when we're pressing the left arrow, and change it by -10 when we are pressing the right arrow. Alright, so now we've modified scroll X and scroll Y. If I run the game and press the arrow keys, you can see those variables are changing. That's fantastic, really good. It's working, but it didn't make any visible difference, right? We haven't done anything crazy. So we're going to go to our level, and we're going to have our level move accordingly to the scroll X and scroll Y position. Okay, so we're going to go to events, grab the when green flag is click block, go to control, grab the forever loop. We are then going to go to motion, we are going to set X, and we are going to set Y inside the forever loop, and we are going to set them to scroll X and scroll Y. Fantastic. So now when I run my game and I move the arrow keys, the background moves below me, and it looks like I am on a fantastic adventure, going up and down my level, exploring my level. It's great. All right, so I have a player. I have my level. My level is too small. I would like to expand my level 3 to 2 more chunks. All right, I would like it to be like twice the size it is, because this is a small world and I want it to be bigger. So what I will do is I will right click my level and click duplicate. I have 2 levels now, and now I would like 4 in total, right? So I duplicated it 2 more times. In my sprite 3, my second chunk of my level, well, let me demonstrate what this does right now. If I run the game, those 3 new chunks of my level aren't visible. Where are they? Where did they go? Well, the answer is they are all on top of each other, right here on top of, so this is all 4 of them on top of each other, so you only see 1. We don't want them to be on top of each other. Instead, we want them to be one after the other right next to each other. So we're going to click our second chunk, sprite 3, go to operators. We're going to add 480. 480 is the width of the scratch screen and the width of one chunk of our level. All right. So this sprite 3, its width is 480. Okay. So then we're going to go and we want to add 480 to scroll X. So it will look like that. Okay. So if I run the game, I have 1 chunk and then 2 chunks of my level visible. So that is half of my level total, right? So then we are going to go to the third chunk, and we want to put this one below the first chunk of our level. So right here where my cat is. Okay, so I'm going to go to operators, and instead of adding or having the plus operator, I'm going to grab the minus operator. I'm going to minus scroll Y by negative 380. Just like that. 380 is incorrect. What is the width of my 360? My bad. So minus 360. Scroll Y minus 360, and that looks something like that. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we have 1 chunk, 2 chunks. Where's my third chunk? Let me guess. Did I? Well, this is weird. Why is... Oh. No, that's not it. Oh. Is this supposed to be positive? Yeah, because otherwise... Yeah, there you go. So, plus, minus, positive 360. Otherwise, it's basically just adding 360, and then you have 1 above your original chunk instead, and then it looks weird. So, this is working now, minus positive 360. We won't have that bug. And then our fourth chunk, we are going to plus 480 and minus 360. We're going to do both of them here in the fourth chunk. So we are going to say scroll Y minus 360 and scroll X plus 480. And this will finish, we'll now be able to see our entire level. Alright, so this is our entire level. Now, I would say the next thing we should tackle is collision, having it so I can't go through these walls. Okay, so to do that, we are going to go to the cat. We are going to go to variables, and we are going to make a new variable called collides. Very cool. Collides is going to be set to 0 when the green flag is clicked. We are also going to make a new green flag and a new forever loop right here. We are going to set collides to 0 inside the forever loop, and then we are going to go to control and grab an if state and place that in the forever loop. Okay. Then we're going to go to sensing. We want to check if we're touching the color of our wall. Alright, to do that, you'll click the colored circle. The color picker is this button at the bottom, and then you'll just click the color of your wall. This is important that it is the same color of your wall. Okay, so then if we're touching the wall or the color of our wall, then we want to set collide to 1. This is telling the entire game that we are touching a wall because collides is set to 1. Okay, this is useful and important. So if collides is set to 1, then it is not set to 0, right? I mean, obviously. I'm saying this because what we want to do is right here in the forever loop, we're going to go to control, grab an if statement, go to operators, and we want to check if it's equal to 0. Alright, so go to operators, grab the equals operator, check if it's equal to 0, and we want to check if collides is equal to 0. And then we'll place our code that was in our forever loop in this if statement right here. Alright, so what this is going to do is if I'm walking around and then I touch a wall, I won't be able to move anymore because collides is not equal to 0, which means this code, the movement code, won't be run, and so we are just stuck there. So we do not want to move when we're touching a wall, okay, because we don't want the cat to move any further into the wall. But we also want to move them out of the wall. So to do this, we are going to we need to have a way to know which direction the cat is moving in so that we can push him in the opposite direction to get him out of the wall. All right. An easy way to do this is just to set point in direction every time we press an arrow key. So this is what we'll do. We'll say point in direction up because we're pressing the up arrow, and point in direction down because we're pressing the down arrow, and the same for the left arrow, point it in the left direction, -90, and point in direction 90 when you're pressing the right arrow. Alright, so this won't do anything by itself besides rotate the cat. Right? You can have them rotate, but I don't. So I'm going to stop the game. I'm going to click this button, direction, and then there's this here. I'm going to click that, and I'll click the circle arrow with the X in it, and that will have him not rotate anymore. See? He does not rotate anymore. Now, it definitely does nothing because we're just pointing in direction, and it doesn't make a visual difference or really any difference in the code. So let's do it this for a reason, right? So what we'll do is we are going to go to variables, and we're going to make another variable. We're going to say current direction. All right, and then we're going to set current direction right down here. We're going to set current direction to direction. This is going to make the collision a lot smoother. All right, and then we are going to go to motion, and we are going to turn 15 degrees here in the if statement, and then we're going to change 15 to 180, and then we're going to grab the move 10 steps, put that under the turn by 180 degrees, and then we are going to, before that, just like this, we're going to point in direction, current direction. Okay, so now I can't go through walls. All right, so that's working pretty well. Next, the last thing that we'll do is we're going to fix this camera, because if I can go off the level like this, see, and that is, it can be better than that, and I'll show you how. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to control, grab an if else statement, go to operators, grab and more, two more than. We're going to check if we're more than 0, and then we're going to go to motion, and we're going to check our Y position, and then we are going to go to variables, and we're going to check our scroll Y, so it looks like this. We are then going to go to our if statement, where we're checking if we're pressing the up arrow and grab this code that says change scroll Y by -10 and place it in our if statement, just like that. And then we are going to go to motion and grab move by 10 steps. Okay. Then we're going to put this in our if statement that checks if we're pressing the up arrow. We are going to do something similar for each of these arrows. Each if statement that checks if we're pressing an arrow, we're going to do something similar to what we have done here in the up arrow if statement. So we're going to right click our if else statement, duplicate it, put it off to the side. We're going to take our change scroll Y out, replace it with our change scroll by +10. We are going to take our scroll Y and Y position out, because we don't want to check if scroll Y position is more than 0. We want to check if it is less than 0 when we are moving down. So we are going to grab our less than operator, place it in like that, less than 0, and scroll Y is less than, not 0, not 50, but 350, just like that. And then we will place this back in our down arrow if statement. Now we are dealing with X, scroll X, left and right. Okay, we're going to take our change scroll X out. We're going to go to control, grab an if else statement, go to operators, grab the and operator, and we're going to grab the more than operator. And we're going to put it in each of the and slots like this. Very cool. We want to check that we are more than 0, and we want to check that we are more than -480, and we want to check that scroll X is more than -480, and we want to check that X position, which is in motion, we want to check that X position is more than 0. If this is true, then we want to change scroll X by +10, else we want to move 10 steps, which is in motion. Alright, that is complete. We'll put that back in our if statement that checks if we're pressing the left arrow. We have one more to do. We are going to grab this change scroll X by -10 out of the if statement that is checking if we're pressing the right arrow, and take it off and put it off to the side. We are going to go to control and grab the if else statement. We are going to put this in the if statement. We are going to go to operators, and we are going to grab an and operator, and in here we are checking that it is, yes, we are going to check that it is less than, just like this. I think I made a mistake. So on right arrow, we are going to check that it is less than -480, like this. But for left arrow, we want to check that it is more than 0 and not negative 480. So that is my mistake. I'm sorry. So we will then go to motion, grab the X position and we want to check that X position is less than 0. And we want to check that our scroll X is less than negative 480. And else, we're going to go to motion and move 10 steps. Okay. And this should do it. Let's run the game. So I am moving, right? Now if I move down, if I move past the center, then the camera starts following me. Alright, so right is not working. Why is that not working? It is because on right arrow, these should be more than. So I'm going to take this out. And I'm going to go to operators, and I'm going to check that it is more than negative 480. Just like this, and I'm going to check that X position is more than 0, and then that should do it. These should be less than. Another problem in the left arrow if statement, these should be less than. So we are checking that in the left arrow, we are checking that X position is less than 0. And we are checking that scroll X is less than 0. Then we can put that back. And now it is working. We are able to move independently from the camera when the camera touches the edge of our screen, and then the camera follows us when we return to the center of the screen. And we are able to collide with the walls. So I hope that was not too hard to follow along with, and I hope that your game works, because there was a little bit of craziness going on at the end. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with this project, and that it can be a good template for any game that you are making, any top-down game that you are making, and it's just a good thing to know in Scratch. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. See you next time.